Hey, it's Thomas here, and welcome to another edition of BRStv Reacts, the show where I get to check out your aquariums and give you my general thoughts, feedback, praise, constructive criticism if you need it. Either way, it's lots of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. Today is the Facebook edition where I'm checking out uploads that you put on Facebook, and if you'd like to have yours featured on this show, go ahead and check out the comment pinned at the top of the comment section below for all the details on how you can submit your entry through Facebook. Let's get started. We're starting off today with Chris McGow, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Chris. My bad if I'm not. Forgive me. Here we go. Nice tank and light setup. I love that you've got the light fixture above the tank there surrounded by a fascia. Really, really nice. Tank's looking good. Lots of color pop in those corals. Great tang gang. Powder blue tang, really nice. Hippo tang in there too. Beautiful sailfin tang. Good looking, what is that, a Fiji damsel? Blue throat trigger perhaps, another Melanurus wrasse type deal we got going on in there. Great fish. That powder blue is gorgeous. Clowns, you can't not have clowns in a reef. Great rock work in this tank too. I love your rock work. You've done a really, really good job of keeping it off the walls, having a really nice kind of dynamic set of pillars in the tank, kind of like high on one side, high on the other side, but at different heights. Really, really cool. Lots of open space still for all those fish to swim. Lots of space between the rocks too for all of that flow. Really cool. Bare bottom system, so you must have had some patience getting it going because they can take a while, so kudos to you there. Really nice fungus on the bottom there. Bright, bright green. It's screaming green. Beautiful bright orange as well. The SPS look like they're doing good. Your staghorn's already beaming for the surface. Like full pop, just going straight up. Nice LPS. Really nice bubble in the front there. You've got a pretty cool looking torch at the back. The Monties in this tank are just having a field day. Man. I like that you've got a leather there in the back too. Really, really nice, floofy looking leather. Just coralline on everything. Your pump is covered. Might be time to clean those soon. Holy. I do appreciate that you're keeping the back of the tank just covered in coralline too. Back in the day, growing coralline was not the easiest thing to do, like in reef keeping. When I started, like having coralline all over the tank was a badge of honor. And I started reefing more than 15 years ago. And that badge of honor, like when I see a tank and the back's just covered in coralline and you don't scrape it, I'm just like, yeah, I remember those days. I know the feeling of just having coralline everywhere and you're like, yeah, I can grow coralline. What of it? It's just a good feeling. But the pumps, I would definitely clean those pumps. Man, I love your tangs. I really like that powder blue. I had a powder blue once and I love that fish. Had it in a huge tank, was gorgeous. Ended up selling all of my tanks at the time for a move, and I, to this day, regret not having that fish anymore. The colors are just beaming. It looks like you might have an apex system. I might be, pegging those pumps as something they're not, but they look like the apex pumps. The video clip's not very long, but I've restarted it like 6 or 7 times because I'm just enjoying this so much. This tank is going to be insane when it grows in more. Obviously, you got lots of room for more corals. You're probably not done purchasing and adding corals, probably mostly SPS, because I noticed it's the top of the rockwork that you've still got a lot of room on. So I'm sure you've got like a wish list of killer acros or whatever that you're waiting to purchase and check off and get in there. But just based on the amount of coralline in the tank, how clean the bottom of the tank is, the perfection of the flow in the tank, you're going to get really, really nice coral growth. And this tank's going to fill up before you know it. And just those fish, beautiful. Really, really good work. Chris, excellent tank. That was a pleasure. Let's see what we got going on with our next entry from Clint Warren. Clint, I'm taking a look. Here we go. We got our algae eaters right up front, fox face, purple tang, yellow tang. Beautiful regal angel back there too. Nice group of Anthias square spots, perhaps? Squams? Squampinius? I don't remember the Latin, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm digging at the back of my brain trying to remember it. Huge colonies of SPS. Nice big SPS, probably a Monty or something, just growing gangbusters on the back of the tank. Nice euphyllias, like an orange octobubble there. Beautiful torch. Oh man. Nice big acro colonies. Is that a Cyphastria that's growing all over the place there? Like a red Cyphastria or an orange? Wow. Huge anemone in the back. Huge carpet anemone. Man, those things can be fish eaters. But they are beautiful. The red carpets, the blue carpets are my favorites. They are gorgeous. Personally, I like sticking them with a big pair of clownfish. I think it's the Clark Eye clownfish that do pretty well with those, and the saddle clownfish as well, perhaps. Man, tons of coral growing around your pumps there too on the wall. Lots of nice euphyllia. Even the hammers there on the right side of the tank. Oh, and there's a tridacnid clam in there. I just noticed him. First time I was staring at the fish so hard, I didn't even see the Jurassic clam. Big fan of giant clams. They do a really good job of filtering the water for you too. And they're just cool. Any photosynthetic animal is just awesome. So they host zooxanthellae, same as corals do. Lots of nice polyps here. There's a chalice down there, collection of LPS. Oh, very cool. The rockwork structures in this tank are pretty large, which is nice because it gives you a ton of space to put coral, but it also seems like you might be getting a little bit of debris buildup just in front of the rockwork. So that's one of those things where having a pump where you can make it more posable. Like the MP40s are awesome. I love them, but they just blast straight forward. There's no way to really angle them or particularly aim them anywhere. That's where like a pump like the Seiche Extreme SDC works really well for pointing it directly where you need to get that flow. So if you do have like a spot in between the rockwork or in front of the rockwork where you need to get a little bit more water flow, you can throw in a pump like that, direct it specifically where you want it and prevent that debris from building up. And again, I'm looking at relatively low resolution versions of the video. They're not blown all the way up on my screen. So if I miss seeing something and that's not, you know, a little bit of debris in front of the rocks, just forgive me. Just forgive me. Ignore. But really cool. I love that you've got like a massive pillar of rock on one side and then like a separate structure on the other side. It creates a really cool division in the reef, which, you know, is awesome because you get to see the fish kind of travel around that pillar, through and in between the separate rock structures. It's just visually very interesting. Very nice. Really good work, Clint. I'm digging it. I'm digging it indeed. Lots of coral line all over the glass. Good job. All right, so the next submission is from Mike Orlando. Mike, let's have a peek. Nice. Nice Red Sea reefer. Looking a little familiar. Is that an XL300? That's an XL300, isn't it? Wow. Really love those classic blue mushrooms. Gorgeous. Massive euphyllia. Holy. You got a huge hammer on the other side of the tank. This tank's already like pretty filled out. This is a fairly mature reef already. Caps looking real nice. Orange cap there in the middle. Got a really nice example of a mixed reef actually. Got some really nice branching acros in there. Some looks like some tabling acro as well. Beautiful opposing colored candy canes or trumpet corals. You got the, you know, classic teals on the left side, and then the beautiful, or mint green, depending on how you see it, and then the beautiful ultra greens on the other side. Gorgeous blue acro. Wow. That hammer is massive. Really nice. Ooh, some equipment shots. What do we got there? What are you opening up? Ah, homemade controller perhaps? Very cool. Really nice. I love that the cat tree is right in front of the tank so that your cat can just chill and watch the fish too, or try to attack them through the glass and not have any luck. Ah, I got a nice pair of, looks like Hydra 26s or 32s. I'm not sure because I can't see underneath right now. But a pair of Hydras, really cool. And you've got the matching pumps, some Neros. Everything's looking nice and organized under there. You've got your UV sterilizer, fuge light, nice Kessel for the fuge, great light. Dosing system, awesome. Looks like you've also got a camera in the cabinet there, perhaps, for keeping an eye on things while you're away. Nice big ball of Kato. Eheim heater, it looks like. Nice, well kept. That tank looks amazing. It's only going to look more and more amazing, but it already just looks amazing. Very well filled in, lots of color, really smart placement of the corals in terms of spreading that color around. So you've got like a rainbow of a reef that you get to take a look at. It just looks good. It just looks good. I don't know how old it is. I'm assuming a few years already, but awesome looking tank. Really, really impressive. Oh, do you know how hard it is for me when I do these reacts to not like go on Facebook or YouTube or whatever submission I'm looking at and just look at what everybody else has already done? I have to wait between episodes and it's hard. Man. Mike, gorgeous tank. I really wish I was there in person to have a look at it. It looks like a lot of fun. Really, really cool. I feel like I didn't even look at the fish. I was too busy staring at all your coral. So it looks like we got a Tamini tang, yellow chorus wrasse. And by the way, great job on the rock work. Really, really nice. Super, super fun to look at, and also keeping it nice and low in the tank so those acros can shoot up towards the surface, because they indeed will, as we have seen with past tanks. I like it. You got some cleaner shrimp in there too, or at least one. I love that little mushroom section. Another wrasse there. Maybe like a Melanurus wrasse. I think everything's a Melanurus wrasse. Anything that looks like a leopard wrasse, I'm just assuming it is some type. I love those zoas down there too. They really, like that orange group of zoas really, really stands out against the greens and blues, like the green of the hammer and the blue of the acro. Looks like maybe Fruit Loops. Forgive me if I don't get the zoa names right. I haven't cataloged them all. I try to remember, you know, a few here and there. Usually I just call them orange skirt, green ring, purple eye, mouth. Let's keep things easy. I love the beady eyes on that catchery. That's too funny. Oh, Mike, thank you so much for your submission. That was awesome. Really, really nice tank. Next up, Omar Kasim. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right. Forgive me, Omar, if I messed it up. Holy Omar. Oh my God. Beautiful Queen and Emperor angels in there. Beautiful mess. Oh my gosh. Blue face angel in there too, it looks like. Tangs and just acros everywhere. I love the school of Chromis as well. That's always really, really nice. I love watching schools of Amphius and Chromis dart in and around the corals. And given that all of those angels are, well, it looks like full grown, and the size, if that's a full-size gyre, that tank's pretty big. Not humongous, but big. My gosh. My brain can't even like properly register the sheer amount of different acropora you have in this tank. It is nuts. Lots of color. Obviously, you've got growth. Just looking really, really nice. I love that crazy branching staghorn type acro you've got on the back left-hand side. You've done a really nice job of placing the more tabling and bush type acros kind of in together on the structure, and then you know, spreading about the different staghorn or more branching acros. And I love the placement of the three you have on the back side of the tank. So you've got kind of your blue one in the middle, your more red one on the brown or red one on the left side, and then on the right side you've got the green. That's going to create, especially when those finish growing all over the place, which they will because they're staghorn type acros, that's just going to be awesome. Just a mess of branches up at the top, and then your kind of reef that steps down with different bush type and you know, table type acros towards the front of the tank. Plus those angels, man. Omar, you're making a lot of people jealous right now. Me included. That's just nuts. Look at the size of the bird's nest on the right side there. Just humongous. And I have noticed, like, because it's a bare bottom, it makes a lot of sense that you place the gyre pump down on the bottom of the tank. to basically blow all of that debris. You've got a pair of them, one at the back as well. Blow all of the debris on that bare bottom tank towards the back. The gyre is actually a really smart pump to do that with if you're doing it down the length of the tank, especially because the gyres basically create a sheet of basically laminar flow. So you're going to get this sheet of flow just pushing all of that dirt and debris to the opposite end of the tank and hopefully up and out of the overflow, keeping it off the bottom. Real nice. It's just what do I even say? You got a gorgeous tank, and it's like absolutely full of coral and insane looking fish. You win. I mean, we all win because we get to see it now, but just crazy. Really, really cool. All right, now last but not least, Stephen Dick. And Stephen, another crazy tank. Really nice, an absolute smorgasbord of beautiful fish in there. Clown tang, gorgeous. Looks like we got maybe a blue throat trigger, some swallowtail angels, some beautiful wrasses. Looks like a Scots maybe? The resolution, forgive me, is a little off when I'm checking these out. So if I'm getting any of those fish wrong, forgive me. Beautiful, looks like maybe Despar Anthias. Also a massive fan of, again, Chromis. Really fun tank to have in like a small school in these really fun fish to have in a small school in a tank. Nailed it. Very cool rock work in this tank too. So the rock work in this tank very much looks like you've got mostly kind of shelf rock on top of pillars or branches, which is a great way to allow for a ton of flow through while still having lots of places to place corals. Already have some really impressive sized acros started in there, looking really, really nice. Big, beautiful Euphilia in the back left-hand side, it looks like. Bone white substrate, meaning you probably keep it super clean. Nice and simple under the tank, though. We've got a fan in there for some evaporative cooling, I'm assuming. Looks like a solid skimmer. And on the other side, you've got all the eye candy equipment. All of the awesome Apex gear. Oh, and on the other side, calcium reactor using a Versa as your continuous duty pump. Very, very cool. There we go, punching in a little bit there. Looking really, really nice. Oh, you got a file fish I almost missed. Part of your cleanup crew. Square spot Anthias, really, really nice. So you got a couple of types of Anthias in this tank. Beautiful wrasse too. Look at that. Look at that. Super, super nice. Got some MP40s there, it looks like, for flow. Gyre as well up at the top. Utilizing those two different types of flow. You got that nice massive widespread flow plus the laminar flow of the gyre, which is really, really cool. I'm kind of in shock with how white that substrate is. Did you clean it right before you shot this video? Did you? Be honest. It's okay if you did. If anything, I'm flattered. Awesome. Really, really nice job on that tank. I think I may have just spotted a blenny. There's so many fish in this tank. But I think I did spot a blenny. Maybe a starry blenny? Or a lawnmower? I think starry, just based on how dark it was. I'm making a game out of this. Incredible. Tons of coralline all over the back glass. Little reactor there. Just all that Apex. And a trident. Tridents, on my, one day I will get one of these list perhaps. I want to try one. They look like great pieces of tech. This is inspirational. You're killing me, all of you. You're killing me with your gorgeous tanks, and I still don't have a tank running. Awesome. Good coral placement too. The only thing with this tank that kind of not 100% on is you've got the rockwork past the halfway point, and in a couple of places almost 3/4 of the way up the tank. As long as you're not placing like staghorn acros on those sections that are really close to the surface, you shouldn't run into too much trouble. But generally speaking, when you're doing those acro tanks, having more of that vertical height for those acros to grow can be a little bit better, unless you're, like, some people do like the look of those acros basically being just at the surface of the water or touching it. I always like having a little bit of space, but with smart acro placement, which it looks like most of your taller acros are on the lower sections of the tank, so no big deal. But typically I would say keep the rockwork a little bit lower. I think where your particular way of doing the rockwork really pays off is it gives a lot of territory and visual barriers for all of your fish, which will help mitigate aggression. It also makes a really interesting kind of landscape for your fish to swim in and out of, in between, through, which is really, really fun to watch. Just watching your clip here going over and over, I'm really enjoying the dynamic of your fish with the rockwork and how they interact with it, which is really, really cool and lots of fun. Man, just another really awesome tank. And this one, like, you are maybe a year, 2 year tops away from just a completely stacked tank with coral, and it's going to be awesome, especially with all those fish. It's just going to look epic. Very, very cool, Steven. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you guys so much for all of your submissions. They were epic. If you want to submit your own tank so that I can see it and give my general thoughts and feedback, maybe blow my mind, you can go ahead and check out that comment pinned at the top of the comment section there, and it'll tell you how you can enter through Facebook. It's not hard. Go ahead and do it, because we'd all love to check out your tanks. It's a lot of fun to do this and to see what you guys get up to in your reefing hobby at home. If you want to check out some of the past submissions that we've had, go ahead and check them out right here. There's a link, and you can see everybody's awesome tanks. And there's all kinds. Little tanks, big tanks, SPS tanks, softy tanks, somewhere in between tanks, LPS only tanks. I think we've had one of those. Oh, awesome work. Really, really cool.